Okay, we got something here. Okay. Alright, we got some letters. Let's do this. Finally! We're getting somewhere. But this is cut off a little bit. We'll then be asking for a total declination if he talks about appeal. Waivers. I think that is a non-starter, but does he want to send you a proposed set of facts to which we would have to stipulate? I realize that emotions are running high on both of our sides, but if you take a step back, which I again strongly urge you to do, I think you agree that our current proposal, while not what we would ultimately want, nor what you would have preferred, is currently the best overall solution for both of us. I think it is fair and just. I'd like you to think about it, and suggest we postpone setting up any firm meeting date until tomorrow, after you have ample time to review the current situation and circumstances and reconsider. The possibility of getting that complex matter firmly and totally behind us. Weirdly enough, I think it shows up much better on the stream than what I see on my actual PDF, because I'm zoomed in. But yeah, that's part 1. Okay, some kind of legal hunt. Okay. Ooh. Okay, that's page 2. Okay, that's page 2. This is page 1. Bit cut off there. Bit weird there. Okay. Alex, I wanted to have a one-on-one conversation. Re yesterday's call. I wanted to give you time to confirm for yourself what Lily had represented regarding the New York Times. I'm sure you now realize that contrary to the characterization of David Weinstein's actions as merely third-party hearsay, I wanted you to know that we have proof positive of what's transpired. Proof positive of a breach of the U.S. Attorney's Manual. Proof positive of a breach of the local rules of conduct. I can't represent to you we have proof beyond a reasonable doubt of a 60 violation, but clearly enough facts that would support a charge. Alex, David discussed details of our plea negotiations. In brackets, I think that is, personal security and house arrest, after repeatedly evoking the officer's concern with the Palm Beach Post editorial. He discussed the theory of the case and talked about the multiple charging statutes, even including the 1591 statute of sea trafficking that is patently unfair to Mr. Epstein. Frankly, as you heard yesterday, Ken, to put it mildly, is outraged. He is a man of great faith, both in his religion and his unwavering belief in the system of justice. He has 2 Bibles, the King James Version and the U.S. Attorney's Manual. He believes in the system, and in this case he believes it has failed miserably. His fear is that the Bob Senior's review is merely designed to be a rubber stamp for the office. Regarding our proposal, I believe we have taken a highly principled position. Yesterday I appreciated you telling me of, as you put it, your thought process. You looked at the case and said, what would we get if we achieved a conviction? We would have registration, we would have a jail sentence, and the victims would be allowed to sue under 2255. I recognize that would be your very thought process, with every plea negotiations. Had you had the statutes that were clearly in the heartland of prosecution, had Epstein had trafficked in women, had Epstein been caught in the most common of stings, you would have asked the same questions. However, the new facts in this case, facts unknown to you at the time of that thought process, have dramatically changed that landscape. At the time, you were unaware of Marie's misrepresentations. You were unaware of Marie's disregard for published procedures. You were unaware of the wildly exaggerated list of victims. You were unaware of the missing Brady info. Sorry, weirdly enough, on the stream is a lot more clearer to me than the actual zoomed in PDF which I'm reading. So it might be clearer to you than it is for me. You are certainly unaware of the most troubling breach of prosecutorial conduct. Weinstein's interactions with the New York Times. That aside, based on the new facts and the law, we have researched every case previously brought. There are none that comes close. This isn't the case in which attempt such a stretch. The initial decision needs to be revisited. We don't need to debate whether or not the petite policy actually applies, and its prominent appearance and then disappearance in the documents. I would encourage you, however, to seriously reconsider our proposal, not only as an advocate, but as a colleague. I strongly urge you to accept it. You have my word that, if it is accepted, this will bring total closure to all outstanding and extremely problematic ancillary issues. I'm sure you understand. I have not sent you a letter, as I prefer not to begin creating a record that might lead to months and months of contentious argument. That being said, I fully realize that you will have to explain such a big charge to your two main constituents, the FBI and the people whose back you have to protect. Ooh. The people that worked on this case. They could be assured that you will be getting much more than the state is still willing to accept. The victims will be made whole. I am confident that our proposal is both principled and fair. The conduct is state conduct. You recognize that the Fed statutes would have to be tortured to fit. I fear that, if this is not resolved quickly, the recent issues, our misconduct with the press, will draw us into a tornado of trouble. And frankly, I don't think there will be in either of our interests. I think this is a middle ground. If Alan Dershowitz and Ken are able to convince either Bob Sr. or Washington, I have more confidence in Washington openness than the Fed statutes don't apply. And then it carries on to what we just saw here. That's very interesting. Alan Dershowitz is their lawyer. He's a famous one, or was. I don't know his current status, in New York. Ken, I suspect, is probably working with them or something like that. But that's very interesting, especially this line. The people whose back you have to protect. Now, considering the whole affair, that line in particular is of interest. There's definitely a huge, some kind of understanding there that he's got to protect people, Epstein. So, yeah. Let's have a look at this other side, though. Let me make sure. Okay. GOY Shelf? Or Goya Shelf, or something. FBI. God, this handwriting is terrible. Home something? Choose 330. 9 cents? Yeah. Some kind of scribbles. WIS, maybe wisdom? Tuesday? Yeah. Something weird. Some kind of scribbling, maybe something that only means something to him, and that's Jeffrey Epstein there. Okay, that's very interesting. That's a very interesting letter. And we don't know. We don't have a note of who it's actually from. And it's typed out as well. So, yeah. They keep like, oh, anybody could have sent that letter. But, yeah. This is their, possibly a legal team trying to cover up or, brush things under the rug. I don't know. But the people whose back you have to protect, that's the interesting line. A lot of powerful people. Alright. We got more. Although, these are just scribbles. Just scribbles. 97370. Okay, could just be just random doodles. But nothing to read.